I'm sweating here. Roasting. Boiling. Baking. It is hot. And this week's video is going to reflect that. We haven't done much. Perfect.
Good morning. We are in Atherstone getting ready for a day of trading tomorrow. Well, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. So today's Friday and I'm getting my bake on. It's a bit difficult at the moment because you're meant to have your butter room temperature for this stage, but at the moment room temperature can be up to like 40 degrees. So I'm just trying to work it out by like sight and feel. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm doing the Victoria sponges today first. Normally I lead with a lemon drizzle just to get them out of the way because they take quite a while to cook. But I realised they do much better and much quicker in a warm oven already. So I'm going to bake everything else first and then do the lemon drizzles. If I look a bit tired, it's because William is teething. He's getting his second tooth through. Quite a late toother, I think, but it's cute. We had a bit of an issue this week because we moored up to have some work done on Zero, and where we moored Holly, she had no access to sun for the solar panels. So our fridge and our freezer weren't working optimally. So we just had a little bit of stock in there, but I'm going to clear that out now. Bit of a shame because we're losing some stock, but that'll teach us for mooring in a shady spot. That's what we've got so far. We've got 2 Victoria sponges and 2 lemon drizzles have just gone in the oven, and then I've got to wait for Vic to get back with ingredients for the rest. They look pretty good and they smell incredible, so I'm going to do coffee and walnut now. 2 coffee and walnut, 2 Victoria sponge, 2 lemon drizzles, scones in the morning. I think we're ready for tomorrow. We're off into the town now to run some errands, do the laundry for Holly, and do a shop. I'm going to bake some stuff for the weekend, and William might have a nap.
Atherstone's a deceptively lively and vibrant town.
This is my 3rd day here. What are we on? Cold wash. That won't do. This one's a little sticky. I'm determined it's the speed that you put the pound in, but like you don't have much of a run up. You get there eventually. Go.
It's the old market square. We're standing in it. It's pretty old. Whereas I think a lot of towns, the canal came through them and it gave the town a little boost. I think in this case it's the opposite. Atherstone was already sort of a really bustling hip-hop happening town and a big market town, and the canal went through Atherstone sort of on purpose. It's a little bit of history that I know for you there.
Maybe like 5 carrots.
Strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, 2 for 180 now. Come on, darling.
Thank you very much.
That's lovely.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the main differences between this year and last year on the cafe boat is where we're getting our stock produce. Last year we really tried too much to make it like a land cafe, so we were trying to get deliveries of milk and all the fresh stuff, fruit and veg, and it just didn't work. Like we were getting deliveries to the wrong place, no one knew where to find us. It was a logistical nightmare. I got up early this morning because we were getting a delivery, but because this town village is so cute, they've just rung Vic and said that the 18-ton truck can't get around here, so they're going to come back on Monday.
Well, another day, another failed supplier delivery?
So a big thing of what we do now is go to local farm shops and get our produce from there, or supermarkets if there's nothing around, but we get it ourselves rather than waiting for a delivery, because that was just taking up, I feel like it took up more time arranging those things and like waiting around for the delivery, and this feels a lot more like within our control, and you know, we don't have to get minimum orders and all that stuff, so it works really well.
How are those cherries?
Juicy, they're massive.
2 melons, 150 now.
There has been a market here since the 1300s, so it's pretty good to know it's still going. Maybe not as bustling as it used to be, but there's still a market here. Tried to film the super room, but it just looks rubbish. No point, is there?
Some things just don't translate.
This can mean only one thing. It's lemon drizzle day. And that's something that we're doing differently this year as well, is I'm baking a lot more in advance. But when I remember what we were doing last year, which is I was just baking on the Friday, everything that I could for the weekend, that just wouldn't work now. Kind of got to get this done quick, because then I need to go to the shop and start making cakes for tomorrow. All the cakes are made now. I'll bake some more tomorrow, I think, on the morning so that they're fresh. I've been really putting this off, starting baking. I don't know why, but I feel like the hot weather's just wiping me out a bit. People love a lemon drizzle. It's been really interesting finding out what people do love, because I did before try and make a lot of cakes. Like I was trying new things, and I was trying special, like I was doing a lot more like Genoese sponges and different kind of sponges and coming up with different recipes. Things that took a lot more time and also were just time consuming to learn how to do. Yeah, well I'm going to do fresh cream because it'll go today. And it's pretty cool, so I'm going to do, yeah, fresh cream and that blueberry compote that I practiced yesterday.
You've outdone yourself there, Joanna.
And then I learnt that everybody wants lemon drizzle or coffee and walnut cake, and Victoria sponge probably comes in third after those two. So I was like, why am I spending loads of time like trying to make probably like more expensive, more time consuming cakes when it's not really what people want? So it was really good to last year learn the demands of the people. Last year as well, I really didn't want to freeze cakes for some reason. If the freezer was on, we just put this extra bit in the freezer, but oops, it's not. We're going to have to eat it. I'm glad we've changed that, because it's so much more relaxing going into a weekend now, knowing that I've got backup cakes in the freezer that it tastes just as good. I think before I thought that was like a cop-out maybe, so I'm glad I've got over that. Like, get over yourself. I'm really trying to beat the heat today. It's going to be about 30 degrees, and in here with the oven on, especially with the windows letting all the sun in, it gets so hot by the afternoon. So yeah, I'm trying to get all these done pre 12 o'clock. Pale and fluffy, that's what we're after. I'm going in with the eggs.
Gas just run out mid-bake, so we're down to our last gas bottle. So you spray those connections with basically just soapy water. It's called leak detector spray, but those bubbles let you know there's a leak. So I'm just going to try and redo the connection. Giving it a proper clean this time, and that's something that I probably should have learned better from the last year, is that you don't get away with much. So all those little jobs that I just thought I'll bodge and scarper. You've got to give everything your proper attention the first time round. There's a lot to be said for just bodging it.
Lemon drizzles are in. We've got a hungry William on board, so I'm cooking him some lunch as well on here. The feeding him, now that he's not just breastfeeding, is harder than I thought. I thought that I'd really love it, or that it'd just be a lot easier, but it's sort of just not having to think about someone else all the time. That doesn't sound right. You hungry? Second batch waiting to go in. Those guys have just gone to the park to seek shade under a tree, I think. And I've just got one lemon drizzle, well, 2 lemon drizzles left baking. And then I'm going to call it for today because it is hot. 36 degrees in here. That looks like a lot of drizzle, doesn't it? It looks like a lot of sugar. But what I'm learning is that is the secret to a good lemon drizzle, is just like drizzling the heck out of it and getting it really lemony, really tangy, getting that crust on top that's like the crystallised sugar. Yeah.
We're escaping the heat. It's midday now, and there's only so much baking you can do. How did the lemon drizzles go?
2 of them good, but 2 of them not so good. But I kind of am blaming the heat. They just like rose way too much. To be honest, this heat is sending us a bit crazy.
Yeah. I feel like when considering moving onto a boat, everyone's primary concern is, will it be too cold in the winter? But really, those steel tubes, they don't half heat up in the sun.
Yeah. Local intel. And this is Hatton Hat Factory, the old hat factory. So with the Industrial Revolution, Atherstone became a centre of hat making, but the only place for the workers to live was in the gardens of the houses that fronted onto Long Street, which I think is the High Street. And so they built like tiny little houses. It says here they had 1 room downstairs and 1 room up, with 30 or more families sharing a pump and an earth closet. So they were like packed in to house the workers, and they're all so close to the factory.
That was really friendly, and I reckon if you stayed in that pub for long enough, you could learn more or less anything you wanted to about anyone in this town. Now we're just ransacking the supermarket for some easy dinner options. We've just been up to the water point, which is just past that bridge, and now we're doing the slightly sketchy reverse back to our mooring spot behind Holly. Got a bit of an audience, so I've got to make this one good. Jo came in last night and that lemon drizzle got launched straight into the bin. I think it's a tough game, baking. There's a lot of triumph and disaster. She's just having a little nap now with William. He's up all night these days, teething, so that obviously doesn't help. How are you guys?
Oh, we're fine now.
Do you want to say anything about last night's cake?
It just didn't go very well. I don't know what it was, either don't know what went wrong, but it just sunk in the middle, and maybe I was a little hasty throwing it in the bin, but it was too, it was an act of passion. Those were not actually like overflowed and sunk in the middle, and it's just gonna happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Can't help it, but breaks your heart a little. That was a little rash, maybe. Throw it in the bin. I was stressed out. Don't know why everyone's not hanging out in the woods today. It's so much cooler under the shade of the trees.
Way back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're not the only ones who've been defeated by the heat this week. It's a pretty quiet day at the cafe today. It's Saturday.
Iced coffee. Yeah, do you want those like milky, like an iced latte kind of thing? Yeah. Yeah.
2 iced coffees. Something else that we've learned that I think we actually learned recently from Sam from Bean and Leaf. I'm so happy with the way that's
You should be.
When we went to go and visit those guys, he said that as long as the coffee tastes good, then you're doing the job right. Which gave me a lot of confidence, because otherwise you can always sort of wonder like, I'm making some iced coffees now. And it's given me the confidence to sort of experiment, do things like that. But what I'm doing is, with the coffee shot and the condensed milk, making like a little sweet espresso paste out of that. And then I'm going to mix it in with some milk and then pour it over ice, so that it's like a kind of full...
That sounds really delicious.
Yeah. If you're a real coffee aficionado, you're probably, you know, covering your eyes at what I'm doing now. But I think, hey, it tastes nice. Sam told me it's alright. So that's what I'm doing. Coffee number 2.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really out of coffee and walnut. There you are, there's a coffee and walnut and a lemon drizzle. Thank you.
That's where it's a couple of iced lattes.
We've got 1 piece of lemon drizzle left and 1 piece of Victoria sponge, which is oozing out cream. And it just looks the more inviting every time I look at it.
I'm gonna have that slice of Victoria sponge if it doesn't sell.
You're not. It's going to sell. I'm going to upsell it.
I'm actually trying to watch my figure at the minute.
Yeah, tell everyone the regime.
Well, I'm basically just trying to stop eating quite so much bread and sugar, which isn't hard, considering my diet before now has consisted mostly of cake. Oh, and also because I've had a chance to review that Ray Winston impression that I did at the beginning of this video, and it was a little too convincing. Nothing against Ray.
Should we do the before shot now? I think porridge oats might have been the better option for soaking up the gooey mixture until I put the condensed milk in.
It's really nice. I'd say that's a success.
I would say it's a success.
Exactly.
We've got some backup this weekend, so it's actually really nice to have a little bit of a quieter day to get a chance to hang out with these guys. Ant Savage is among them. He's the man, the artist behind the lino prints that we got done recently. But also, whoops. It wasn't me. Well, also Hannah.
Finish.
Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah.
Is that the way it went? But as I was saying, also amongst our flotilla is Hannah Savage and Kay, who you may remember all of those guys because we've met them before.
Online operates at a time. How's your day?
It's really good. Quite a quiet day. I think everybody's been escaping the heat. Cakes went down well.
Yeah, pitched it pretty well, didn't we?
Yeah.
How much to make? That's probably another thing that's better than last year is like knowing how much to bake, when to bake, and so that there's not much wastage.
On that note, maybe we will call this one here. Say good night to you, and thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.